Red Dead Redemption 2 begins with the Dutch van der Linde gang in dire straits. They have fled to the mountains after a robbery gone wrong. Some members of the gang are dead or missing, and those that are still with the group are trying to find shelter in blizzard conditions.
I found a place where we can get some shelter.
Arthur Morgan, the main character, is able to help secure temporary shelter for the group in an old abandoned mining camp. Along the way, he rescues John Marston, one of the members of the gang that were separated after the robbery in Blackwater went south.
That's quite a scratch you got there.
Never thought I'd say this, but good to see you, Arthur Morgan.
The gang stumbles onto an O'Driscoll hideout, a rival gang, and after taking care of them, they discover plans for a train robbery that they were planning and rescue a recent widow, Sadie Adler, who decides to join the gang. Dutch, the leader of the self-named gang, decides to take on the plans for that robbery in their stead.
Oh, yeah? Interesting. This is something about the train they was gonna rob. Of Mr. Leviticus Cornwall.
The train is a private one owned by Leviticus Cornwall, a powerful and wealthy business owner. The robbery is successful, but Dutch, Arthur, and the rest of the gang will learn that Cornwall doesn't take kindly to being robbed. Cornwall will hire the famed Pinkerton Detective Agency to hunt Dutch's gang down.
My name is Leviticus Cornwall. I am not a man to be messed with by the likes of you.
Where now?
I know this country a little. I told you we should set up camp in Horseshoe Overlook near Valentine.
In the Chapter 2, Arthur, Dutch, and the rest of the gang try to settle peacefully nearby a small town called Valentine. Until Dutch decides his next move, Arthur tries his best to help out the gang.
So it is time for everyone to get to work.
Get to work, but stay out of trouble.
He goes on hunting trips, rescues Micah and Sean from being hanged, pulls off another train robbery with John, and does a little debt collection, all to help keep the coffers full.
Arthur, isn't it? Arthur Morgan?
Who are you?
Yes, Arthur Morgan, van der Linde's most trusted associate. You've read the files. Typical case. Orphaned street kid seduced by that maniac's silver tongue and matures into a degenerate murderer. Agent Milton, Agent Ross, Pinkerton Detective Agency, seconded to the United States government.
The Pinkerton Detective Agency, led by Agent Miller, takes notice, though, and attempts to turn Arthur against his brothers and sisters in the gang. He refuses, but the gang eventually pushes their luck too much, though, after a bank robbery. It ends up in a shootout that leaves a lot of law in Valentine dead, and the group is forced to go on the move again.
All right. Oh, Mr. Pearson, put everyone to work. Make this place a home. Well, I don't know where the hell we are, but we are going to make the best of it.
In the beginning of the Chapter 3, they go south this time, near the plantation town of Rhodes. Rhodes is dominated by two prominent families that are in the midst of a feud, the Greys and the Braithwaites. There are long-standing rumors in the town that either or both of the families have hidden gold. Dutch, still searching for a big score that can allow him and everyone else to retire for good, decides to try and find it. Hosea, Dutch's oldest friend and most trusted advisor, helps Dutch come up with the plan to play both sides against each other. They are going to try to warm up to both sides of this feud, and when their war hits its climax, run off with the gold. Arthur is complicit and helps both sides attack each other to try and escalate the tension between the two.
I told you about the Braithwaites.
Pretty sure you did.
It seems to be going well for a while. Arthur and Dutch are even made deputies. However, it turns out that they were the ones getting played the whole time. But then the Greys set up an ambush, which ends up with Sean, a prominent member of the gang, getting killed. And in the midst of that, Jack Marston, John's son, is kidnapped by the matriarch of the Braithwaite family, Catherine Braithwaite.
The Braithwaite woman took him.
Oh.
Kieran saw a couple of fellows sound like Braithwaite boys.
Where's my son? If anything, where is my son, Dutch van der Linde?
We will find him, we will bring him back to you, and we will kill any fool that had the temerity to touch one hair on that boy's head. Abigail, you have my word.
Just get me back, my son.
Arthur and the gang defeat the Greys in town and the Braithwaites on their plantation, but Jack is gone. Catherine Braithwaite has moved Jack to Saint Denis, knowing that they would eventually come for him at her manor. They all move out to a new location closer to Saint Denis as they plan Jack's rescue and to stay on the run from the Pinkertons.
Mr. Milton, stop following us. We'll be gone soon.
In Chapter 4, things ended poorly in Rhodes. The Pinkertons showed up again, and little Jack Marston was kidnapped. The gang headed to Saint Denis hunting for Jack and are now hiding outside town, deep in the swamps, in a rundown old manor house called Shady Belle. Dutch is desperately searching for an escape plan for them all. Hosea, meanwhile, is hunting a serious score for them. John, Dutch, and Arthur head to Bronte's mansion to get Jack back. Bronte asks the gang to clear out the local graveyard in return for Jack. After that, the gang attend a party hosted by the mayor of Saint Denis. While at the party, they meet with Bronte and look for job opportunities.
Well, we are going to need some money.
Money, yes, of course. But there's money at the trolley station. They keep a lot of cash there in the day. Now, I could not involve myself in such matters. But you, as a guest, yes, as my guest, do it, huh? Okay, good day, gentlemen.
Goodbye.
While at the mayor's party, the gang learned of a card tournament being held on the Grand Corrigan riverboat. Strauss and Trelawney fix a game so Arthur can win big on the tables. Incidentally, Arthur meets eagle flies outside Cornwall, kerosene and tar, and prepares to break in to steal a report on the oil reserves at the Wapiti Reservation. The O'Driscolls send Kieran's mutilated body to the gang camp at Shady Belle before launching a brutal attack. After receiving a tip from Bronte about a trolley station in Saint Denis holding a large amount of cash, Dutch, Arthur, and Lenny meet to rob it. Before they can rob the Saint Denis bank, Dutch convinces Arthur that they must kill Bronte. They visit Thomas, a local fisherman, to procure a skiff for the assault on Bronte's mansion. The gang attacks Bronte's mansion from the river to get rid of the threat of Bronte's men and to take revenge for the trolley station setup.
So filth has got to be disposed of. Your friends, the Pinkertons, gonna come and rescue you, you repulsive little maggot. Call them now. You call them.
Jesus.
In order to fund their escape and retirement abroad, the gang prepare for one last job, robbing the Bank of Saint Denis.
You're right. Let's rob this bastard.
At the very beginning of the Chapter 5, Arthur will wake up on a beach, completely alone. Dutch, Micah, Javier, Bill, and Arthur escaped on a boat. The boat sank in the Caribbean, and they were washed ashore on the island of Guarma, a sugarcane-producing island off the coast of Cuba. The island is dominated by Colonel Fussar, a local tyrant, kept in power by the sugar companies. Head over to the source of the smoke to meet back with Dutch and the others, who all have managed to survive. Arthur and the rest of the gang will be captured by a patrol. All of them will be chained and forced to go together with the soldiers. While most of the gang made it out safe, Javier didn't, and he is a prisoner of Colonel Fussar, the despot ruling the island. Dutch has no intention of leaving Javier to his fate and comes up with a plan to infiltrate the fortress and rescue. The gang, or what remains of them, are pressured into helping by a Haitian smuggler named Hercule. In exchange, he will try to find them passage back to America. In Chapter 6, the gang, or what is left of it, were reunited at Laquais, but was quickly assaulted by a squad of Pinkertons. The gang fled into some dangerous county to the north and are now hiding in Beaver Hollow, awaiting their fate and riddled with internal dispute.
Loyalty, Arthur. It ain't. I had a goddamn plan! John, you are my brother. You are my son. I was coming for you.
They was talking of hanging me, Dutch.
They was talking. They was talking. And now they may come and hang us all.
Arthur is not feeling very well and is unsure what to do. Arthur and Sadie row to Sisika Island to break John out of prison.
They try to kill my people for oil! For oil! Today we ride once more. Ride with me! Ride with us! Ride with us against the factory!
I love your courage, son. It is a thing of great beauty.
Eagle Flies rides into Beaver Hollow to rally support for a final attack on Cornwall, Kerosene and tar. Against Rains Fall's wishes, Dutch and the gang accompany Eagle Flies into battle against the army.
All right, let's ride out.
As their final job, the gang ride to Saint Denis to intercept and rob a train carrying army supplies and payroll headed for the recently destroyed Bacchus Bridge. With John assumed dead and Abigail captured by Pinkertons, Dutch cuts them loose and rides for Beaver Hollow. Arthur and Sadie head to Van Horn to rescue Abigail.
You'll be dead, sure, but I'm gonna be just fine. We offered you a deal, Mr. Morgan. You should have taken it.
I'm a fool, Mr. Milton.
Not all you boys have quite so many scruples. Old Micah Bell.
Micah? You mean Molly?
Molly O'Shea. Sweated her a couple of times, never talked a word, had to let her go. Micah Bell. We picked him up when you boys came back from the Caribbean, and he's been a good boy ever since.
Okay. Okay.
Using your strength, Mr. Morgan.
You're still a yapping dog, Mr. Milton.
Horrible man.
At the end, Arthur decides to help John and his family against Dutch and Micah. Micah made fight with Arthur, explaining Micah is the rat in the gang to Dutch.
Be practical now.
Dutch!
John?
You left me. You left me to die. My boy. I didn't have a choice. John, I didn't have a choice. Left me! All of you, you pick your side now because this is over. Oh, them years, Dutch. For this snake.
Oh, be quiet, cowpoke. Be quiet.
At the end of the fight, Arthur sadly loses his life, and he will die.
Stand unshaken amidst the crash of words. May I stand unshaken amidst the crash of words.
Thank you for watching. Please subscribe my channel for more videos.
The many miles we'll